The first time I saw the planet I would one day call home, if only temporarily, it looked like a bruise in space, a swirl of indigo and green wrapped in a thin silver atmosphere. The diplomatic vessel Ardent Wake hummed as it slipped into orbit, and I pressed my forehead to the viewport like a child, ignoring the ache of months in zero gravity. I was not a hero or an explorer by temperament. I was a linguist, a bridge builder by trade, sent to translate gestures and pauses into peace. The Kepri people had invited a small human delegation to open formal relations. Their world, Kepra 9, was rich in rare superconductive crystals, and Earth's governments were eager to secure access. I had studied their language for years. Tonal clicks layered with color shifts in the skin of their throats, a biological grammar that still made my head spin. What I had not studied, what no dossier could fully prepare me for, was their family structure, or the weight they placed on first impressions. Her name was Salith. I met her in the Hall of Accord, a cathedral of living stone that grew in elegant spirals toward a skylight open to the planet's twin suns. Salith stood apart from the other delegates, taller than most, her skin a luminous amber that darkened when she smiled. She wore a mantle of woven crystal fibers that chimed softly when she moved. When she spoke my name, Eli Verma, the tones aligned so perfectly I felt my chest vibrate. "You listen with your whole body," she said, studying me with eyes like polished obsidian. "That is rare among your kind." "I've had good teachers," I replied, hoping my translator implant wasn't smoothing out too much of my nervousness. The negotiations unfolded over days. We traded stories as much as treaties. I learned that Salith was a xenobiologist, fascinated by human fragility and adaptability. She learned that I grew up in Mumbai, that my mother had taught me 3 languages before I was 10, and that I still missed monsoon rains. We walked the gardens where bioluminescent vines responded to touch, and we debated ethics under the slow drift of floating pollen spheres. I told myself I was doing my job. Then came the dinner. It was a family gathering, Salith explained, a courtesy extended to me as a sign of trust. I assumed it would be ceremonial, a brief exchange of pleasantries. I was wrong. Her mother arrived late. Matriarch Threxia entered the chamber with the inevitability of gravity. She was ancient by Kepri standards, her skin etched with natural fractal patterns that marked wisdom and lineage. The room quieted as she approached. She did not look at the food, the human delegates, or the carefully arranged gifts. She looked only at me. For a long, suspended moment, her throat shimmered through a spectrum of colors I could not immediately parse. My implant lagged, then caught up. "You will marry my daughter," Threxia said, her voice resonant and absolute. The room erupted into a confusion of tones and colors. I felt every eye, human and Kepri, lock onto me. My heart hammered. I searched Salith's face for explanation. Her amber skin had gone pale. "Mother," Salith said sharply, her colors flashing embarrassment and protest. "This is not." Threxia raised a single hand. Silence fell again. "I have seen the branching futures," she said. "This one holds." I stammered something about cultural misunderstandings, about consent and protocols. Threxia listened patiently, then inclined her head. "You are free to refuse," she said. "But know this, the alliance you seek will fracture without this bond. And my daughter's path will narrow." It was not a threat. It was a statement of belief. The following days were a blur of emergency meetings and sleepless nights. Earth's delegation was divided. Some saw opportunity, a symbolic union that would cement relations for generations. Others warned of precedent, of personal autonomy sacrificed on the altar of diplomacy. I sat in my quarters, staring at the soft glow of Kepra 9 through the viewport, feeling the weight of a choice I had never asked to make. Salith found me there. "I am sorry," she said, settling beside me. "My mother, she sees patterns where others see chaos." "What do you see?" I asked. She considered. "I see a man who listens. And a future that frightens me less than most." We talked until the sun set and rose again, about expectations and fears, about the differences between ritual and reality. She explained that Khepri marriages were less about possession and more about convergence, two lives braided to strengthen the whole. I explained human love, messy and often unplanned, and my fear of becoming a symbol rather than a person. "Whatever happens," Salith said finally, "I will not cage you." The ceremony, if it came, would be simple. In the end, it was Threxia who returned to me one last time before any decision was announced. She stood with me in the Hall of Accord, gazing up at the skylight. "You doubt," she said. "Yes," I admitted. She nodded. "Good. Blind certainty is brittle. Know this. I did not choose you to bind my daughter. I chose you because you would ask her if she wished to walk beside you." I thought of Earth, of my mother's voice over a delayed calm, of Salith's steady presence. I thought of the futures branching like veins of crystal beneath our feet. "I will marry your daughter," I said slowly, "if she still wishes it, and if this union is not the end of who we are, but the beginning of who we might become." Threxia's skin glowed a deep, satisfied blue. The marriage was not the end of negotiations. It was their transformation. Treaties followed, yes, but so did exchanges of students and scientists, artists and engineers. Salith and I built a life that moved between worlds. Some days were awkward, filled with misunderstandings and laughter at our own ignorance. Other days were heavy with responsibility. Years later, when I stood with Salith beneath Earth's rain, watching her marvel at water falling from the sky, I understood what Threxia had seen. Not a destiny carved in stone, but a willingness to choose each other again and again, across stars and differences. The future had held.